Well, hello. Good morning. Nice to see you. Coffee. Today is April 15th. How you doing? I am here, somewhat awake, to read to you. Before I do, though, I got to tell you, this not getting a haircut business. I was I got my haircut every month for about a year, or a little more than a year, and I was really enjoying it because it kept my hair so nice and behaving. Not anymore. So today I would like to read to you from my book, Climbing Maya, an exploration into success, available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Noble, Audible, all those places, many more. Check it out. Look for me. I got about 30 books out there. Today I'll be reading Chapter 5. I'd already spent a week out of work through hot, sweaty afternoons looking at job postings on the internet in my garage, which had been the only place in the house to put my desk, and it doubled as a pressure cooker. Spent a few afternoons playing catch with Sean out under the open breezes. Stayed up for several nights after Vicky went to sleep, fretting over my resume, rewriting it over and over. I made a point every morning to wake up early so Vicky didn't get the idea I wasn't actually employed, as strange as that might sound. So I got up and took a shower and brushed my teeth and dressed myself and took our dog Suki out for a walk, and after Vicky left, felt miserable. I applied for a lot of positions and was grateful when my first interview came around. Monday morning, August 21st, at 10 o'clock. As strange as it might sound, not only did I know exactly where I was going, but I knew exactly what I was in for. Many years before I actually had any experience being a corporate writer, I'd interviewed at this placement agency for creative folk. I hoped this time around might go a little easier and made a point not to hold my breath. Vicky gave me a kiss before she left. "You'll do fine," she told me. Then she was gone. I dressed myself in a pair of tan slacks, a white shirt, and a tie, as you see me right now, with brown shoes. Strange thing about the tie, my ex-wife gave it to me. It was one of her last gifts, and its expense served the dual purpose of displaying both her affection and superiority. I'd been looking for work then, too. Somehow, over the years, it had become my good luck interview tie, though every tying seemed to invoke a throaty chuckle from just beyond my hearing, as if my ex-wife was around the corner, loving every minute of my misfortune. I pulled up to the tall office park where four stunted high-rise buildings stood dwarfed by the competing landscape, cityscape, some kind of scape. It's a long morning, and realized to my dismay that the morning was already hot. Not yet 9:30 and my shirt already showed sweat. Not good. But I knew the walk would take me a while since the building was on the park's far side and nearly a quarter mile away. A walk might help air out my shirt and my stress. I came across a term the night before that I found myself particularly enamored by: middle-aged angst. It rolled off my tongue like bitter sushi. Middle-age angst. At 40, I was undeniably sitting safely within middle age. I say undeniably because getting there had not exactly been easy. At 35, my previous wife had still held too much affection for me to allow me to say it, though Though with the way I'd treated my body, any chance of my reaching 70 was up there with lotto winnings and threesomes with porn stars. All the years after that, middle age was denied me by both women I was dating and my delusional parents. After Vicky and I were wed, she wouldn't hear of it. At 40, though, it's hard for anyone to say, middle-aged? Heck, you're just a kid. It would be like someone walking through Hiroshima, which Vicky says I always say wrong, so my apologies, on August 7th, 1945, and saying, this ain't so bad. A little paint, some shrubs. I doubt I need to tell you what I meant by angst. I was in my second week without a job, looking for my first interview. Here's the thing, though. There was nothing uniquely middle-aged about it. I've always been anxious about my level of success in life. I like to blame it on a girl in my high school English class who asked our instructor about me, do you think he's good enough to be published? The idea that I have to do better, that I'm supposed to do more, has long been firmly entrenched in my mind. As nice as the phrase might sound, my middle-aged angst was just something carried over from a younger age. By the way, that girl did ask that class. It was in an English class, and my English instructor at the time, Margot, yes, that's her name, said that she thought I would, as long as I was prolific. I now have over 30 books available. I'm going to count that as prolific. Continuing. I wondered if that was odd. I watched people walking by the many storefronts that made this office park appear urban. They walked in between buildings, grabbing lattes from Starbucks or picking up dry cleaning. How many of them fretted over success? Was it that important? Of course it was. Look at how they walked. Any faster and they'd be in full panic. I was far from alone. My interview was on the 12th floor near the top, and I smiled at the receptionist who watched me step out of the elevator. I tried to greet her kindly, make a good impression, but she was too busy to notice. Hearing of my interview, she grabbed a pre-assembled clipboard stacked with papers and said, fill out the application on top as thoroughly as possible and all the adjacent forms as honestly as possible. Thank you. I was about to comply with a smile, but I noticed she was no longer paying me any attention. So I took the clipboard and found a seat. I copied the resume I'd taken with me line by line and was surprised to finish it so quickly. So was the receptionist. But soon I was sequestered in a small meeting room with a woman from the agency, and she was reading my resume with interest. I could only assume that the application had been left in some administrative abattoir. This is good, she said. This is very, very good. I think we can find something for you right away. Good, I agreed with her. And all we're going to need from you, are some samples and references. Well, I have plenty of samples, and I have 3 references. One of them will have to be from your previous boss. My blood froze in my veins. Here's the thing. Can my voice be any squeakier? Here's the thing. Between Vicky, Sean, Megan, and myself, we all worked on a story as to why I lost my job. Evil bastards didn't look good on an application under any context. I had to find something that sounded like they loved me, but made no one wonder, then why did they get rid of you? The story agreed on, they eliminated my position. Megan had asked, "Are they finding another marketing documentation specialist?" Yeah, great title, huh? That had been my title. "No, they're just going to get a technical writer," I told her. "Then," she reasoned, "they really did eliminate your position." The logic was pure, if underhanded. I liked it. But I hadn't thought of this wrinkle. So I stalled and I stammered, all on the inside, being the consummate actor, and I got the hell out of there. Not exactly what I had expected. I had to get my mind closer to what success was. I knew I couldn't wrap my mind around it, didn't even know what it meant. Success seemed so far away. And I wanted to sidle up next to it, buy it a drink. I've acted in successful shows, and I've written shows that had successful performances. I knew that because I could see the reactions right in front of me. I absorbed the applause like a memory sponge, not knowing when it would come again. All so temporary. Was that a part of success? Was it fleeting? In my life, I've been a good husband and a good partner, a good boyfriend, a good lover. I've been successful in all of these things, and yet I can see it only lasted for that moment. I've owned a lovely, spacious home with large yards and a big garage, the suburban dream, and that too is gone. Temporary, temporal, tyrannous, all within the field of time. And anything within the field of time is bound to fail. Look at the lighthouse of Alexandria, the Colossus of Rhodes, and the hanging gardens of Babylon. Oh, wait, you can't. Even the seven wonders of the ancient world failed in time, the only one left standing being the Great Pyramid of Giza, and that'll be gone soon too. How are we puny mortals supposed to stand up to time's insensitivity and count ourselves successful? Does death make it all a moot point? The freeway was hot, shimmering, reflecting what it felt like in my car, but I didn't care if I was sweating. Traffic was fierce, and I paid little attention. If success cannot exist within the field of time, it must exist outside of it? Where the hell is that? It's not out there, out on the freeway, or in the office buildings, in the cars, or even in my car. Success isn't in my hands or in my eyes. Where then? Inside. Not external, internal. Yes, something about that rang true. Success is not how the world sees you or the expectation the world places upon you. It's how you see yourself and the feeling when you meet those expectations you have placed upon yourself. We've all felt it. Anyone who has met success, it comes quickly and unexpectedly. And then, somehow, in a way that defies logic, it is there eternally. For that brief moment, not everlasting, not forever, eternal, outside of time, beyond time, not belonging to the world, but belonging to ourselves. We hold it, we live it, we are it. And then it's gone. And we are rewarded with the sweet, sweet memory that tells us to go on and try it again. This explains something that I never understood until that moment. How some people can live with so little and have so much. How can they be content? Material poverty can always be faced when there are other riches: family, friends, love, dignity, courage. This is an old idea and very true. But take those riches away and you'll find that material wealth can never replace them. Success exists outside of time somehow, the same place you find happiness. I looked at the people in the surrounding cars. Certainly none there. Yes, it is true, but that still doesn't come close to explaining why I feel driven to prove my worth, to become a success in life. And this is not to say I'll take material wealth over those I love and who love me. They give me the strength to search for success, but in my mind, they aren't yet the apex of success. There's this mountain, you see? And many of us, maybe all of us, try to climb it. Success is at the top. We can feel it. But along the way, there are pitfalls, crevices, and boulders to watch out for. And these represent the normal landscape of our lives. Success is up there, showing us the way to go. And that lands me right back in the lap of angst. I'm caught up in it, and I can't get out. Maybe that's one of the traps keeping me from success, telling me I need it now, even if I know that now is a notion we've already shown success to ignore. And though it might not, I still live within the field of time. So then what is it? To me, it seems to be some middle path between the landmines, laying somewhere between having just enough and not enough, away from angst and aside from contentment. It could lay between the lowlands and that distant peak, and still indefinable, ineffable. What is that middle path? And that, my friends, is chapter 5. Getting a little closer every day to success. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, Thursday, for the last reading of the week, which will be chapter 6. I'll see you then. And there you have it. You've just survived another Ken Salle video. For more information about new releases, projects in the works, or even stuff from the archives, head on down to kenlasalle.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and all around social media, just as long as it's called Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for your support, as always. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll be back soon with more nonsense.